it up a little bit too far forward, but we'll make do. It'll work out fine. Okay, so today we are working on the LS Miata. We have some fun projects to do, some exciting mods and upgrades and stuff like that, and just some normal maintenance and work to do, things to fix. Many things have broken over time, but it's still kind of running and ripping, so we kind of let them fall by the wayside. We need to fix them. But mostly fun stuff. So get this thing all the way up in the air and get to it. Alright, let's knock out some of the criticals first. So don't forget and overlook them because we've got an event in 2 days and we need to make sure this thing is in tip-top shape. So I want to make sure I get that stuff done before we move on to the fun stuff. It's not much. There's only a few things that we really have to address. Thing number one, exhaust hanger is falling off. Fixed. No, I'm just kidding. I just noticed that. Alright, enough dilly down. Let's get to work. Alright, just giving everything a bit of a mechanic's bath before we get started. I bought 4 cans of brake clean, so, oh god, that stuff's strong. So naturally, as any other mechanic would do, I gotta use them all, you know? When you have brake clean, you just use it all. When you don't have it, you use it sparingly. If you guys saw the video, like 2 videos back, I pulled the Saphira over here, whatever, and then I lost my 12 mil, and I couldn't find it. Well, it is found. I had left it over here on this cabinet, and I am so happy to have it back. I was talking about how I never lose tools, and I freaking misplaced one, but it is back. People asking, people were worried. People wanted to know if the 12 mil was all right, and the 12 mil is okay. It is alive and well. All right, so first order of business. We got to get this shifter bushing in. There's a little bushing that goes right here, and it fell out, so there's a lot of slop in the shifter. So GK Tech sent me a new bushing. I've just got to pop it in. I don't know. I'm hoping I can just pop it in from down here. Hopefully it's not too difficult. In my opinion, one of the biggest signs and best reasons to go with a name brand company when you're buying something is parts availability. You know, like if this were some no-name shifter, there's no way you're gonna get this bushing. But they already have it pre-packaged, ready to go. You can buy just the bushing if you need it. I think that's really important. So anyway, started off this video with a lot of jibber jabbering. Let's get some work done. What do you think? You think it's gonna go right in? It might. Okay, it's partially in. I just gotta get it to pop the rest of the way in. For right tools. Alright, I can't fully tell if this is in all the way, so I'm gonna have to try to take a closer look. Hopefully it is. If so, that was easy. If not, who knows? Trying to do some aggressive shifting with it to see if it's going to fall out. It definitely seems like it popped in all the way. Don't remember what correct looks like. It's been so long since I installed this shifter. I think we're good though. Okay, back there. But that right there, that brass bushing, it hasn't budged at all, hasn't moved at all, didn't slide down at all, definitely looks fully engaged. I think we're good there. So now we can move on. Okay, so the next part of the project, getting this thing ready for the, oh wait, this isn't Miata. Everyone always says they're like go-karts. I get confused. This is an actual go-kart. Never mind. So we tried out some 17s on this car. I have a kind of a whole video on drift car tires and things like that, and that's when we tried them on. But basically, I don't have a lot of options in 15 or 16 for any tire bigger than a 205 that's not an expensive race tire. So moving up to 17s give me options to tires like 245s in non-race tire spec, cheap. These tires are like 70 bucks each. So I really would like to run these. I don't completely hate the way it looks. I'm not in love with the way it looks, but I don't hate the way it looks. It looks okay. But we got to do some stuff to make them fit. So first thing we got to do, pull the wheel off and add some camber. One downfall to the, see, freaking gets caught on the side skirt. Come on, bud. Oh, here's another downfall. The downfall is also the benefit. The downfall is size. You can see how much bigger the 17 is, and it weighs a lot more, and that is a lot more stress on the drivetrain. That's less usable power to the ground. But the other thing is, when it comes to going to events, packing tires in there. So I can pack a lot more 16s or 15s with 205s on them than I can 17s with 245s on them. So that's one thing I'm concerned about, but I think the grip that these are going to have is going to far outweigh any of the cons, because I mean, the car is pretty fast on a mediocre 205. I think it's going to be insane on some halfway decent 245. So we'll see. We'll see. We got to make them work first. We got to try that first. No point in worrying about the cons if they're not even going to fit in the first place. I may have cranked a little too hard on these, huh? Just trying to make sure they don't slip. Okay, so we're going to go majority of the way in. Probably like 2/3 of the way in and see how that looks. You have to make sure eccentrics are tight, because at least on Miatas, they like to walk on you. You know what? Let's test fit the wheel back on and let's drop the car down. I want to see where it's going to make contact, because if we cut this off and it's just a sharp edge, it's probably going to be worse off than if it's something smooth to rub. So on this side, it looks like the camera did the trick. We might actually be able to pull out a little bit of that. Definitely pull out probably a degree or so. Better see with the wheel on here the problem that I'm talking about. Basically, you know, the wheel's this is the furthest point of the wheel, and as that travels up, it's gonna start hitting all of this other stuff. So looks like we really need to trim the side skirt some, but you know, I don't really want to preemptively do that if I end up not running these wheels, because then it's going to look goofy. I think we might just have to send it and hope for the best. One thing we will do, throw an alignment on the back here. We'll see. Like I said, I'm speculating a little too much right now. I'm real curious if they're going to work, but we're not going to know until we try them. They might work perfect. They might not even be close to working once we're actually drifting this thing. So we'll have to see at the event. I guess we'll put the plate on and then we'll start her up, see what the pressure is. I'm not really concerned because the car has been running for a while with the pump set up like that. So I'm pretty sure it's got enough oil pressure. But once you rod knock one motor, you're kind of never the same after that. You're always worried about oil starvation. Talk to your kids about oil starvation. Make sure they know the damages that faulty oiling systems can cause. Harm to you, harm to loved ones. Everybody suffers when a motor is blown. Your wife, your kids, they have to go hungry so you can buy a new engine. So now we're back around where we should be, 60 PSI at idle. I did turn it down a little bit. I did remember that I do need to do an oil change before this event. It's been 2 or 3 events since I've done an oil change, so we will do that later, but I promise the fun stuff. I'm not gonna feed you any more veggies till we get through some dessert or whatever. I don't know what the other part of veggies would be. First thing, mirrors. So I actually really like the way these mirrors look, how they're kind of clean and simple and you don't really notice them too much. And they're definitely, I hate the stock bulky mirrors. Those things are ridiculous. But the problem is, I can kind of see out of this one, I can kind of see what's happening. Like imagine you're me, right? So like that's out of your peripherals. You can see, can you see my hand? You can kind of see me. That one is just zoomed in. It's just like you can't see anything. So I want to fix that, and I think these will look cooler. So let me show you what I got. All right, so here's what we've got. Pachow! Oh, knock off racing mirrors, but they look like they're gonna work. I can see myself in them. What can you guys see? You want to see yourself? There you are. Wow, you look different. So supposedly, I think these are gonna fit based on the dimensions. We're gonna try them. I think they'll look better, and I definitely think they'll work better. So let's get them on. They're all rusty. Let's make sure it fits first. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, let me get some new bolts. The slot's a little tight for these, but it works. There we go. All right, let's get the other one on and then we'll see how they look. Definitely large. Well, they're not as much of an upgrade in the function department as I had hoped. They're still just super zoomed in. The driver's side is not horrible. I mean, the extended field of view helps a lot, you know, not looking at this tiny little circle. So they're definitely an upgrade. I was just hoping they'd be a little more like wide angle, I guess, basically. I mean, if you want some racing mirrors for your Miata, you can't really go wrong. 45 bucks on Amazon. I'll link to it below. Hopefully I don't forget. You guys know I'm getting better about putting links. I remember now. Looks kind of like a praying mantis. I don't know how I feel about it. I've only ever seen these mirrors on way bigger cars, so I'm kind of conflicted. What do you guys think? Definitely we'll see how they do when we go to the event. With the helmet on and everything, it's hard. You have limited visibility to begin with. And then when your mirrors are virtually useless, like you just feel like you're gonna run into somebody or something every time you back out of your pit spot, which you do a lot. So I wanna be able to see, but I wanna be a little stylish too. Oh, that's kind of cool. They come with these brackets so you can bolt them to other cars. I wonder if they'd fit on the RX-7 if I decide I don't like them on this thing. So I think what I'm gonna do, just to make me happy with the way these look, because they just look like freaking bug ears. I think I'm gonna cut this rod, cut like 1.5 out of it, and just basically bring it down and over some. I think it'll look a lot better that way. I'll sleep on it, it's already dark, and we'll pick this back up in the morning. Man, what a beautiful morning to get back to work. Oh man, it is nice out. It's not quite to the 60-degree weather that I really like, but I mean, it's a solid like 70, 75, and it feels amazing. No humidity. Oh, it's so nice. Finally getting back into good weather. It's been a rough summer. So, after thinking on it, looking at it some more, we're gonna shorten them. I just can't do it. We'll chop an inch out and then see what that looks like, and then if we need to do more, we need to do more, but it'll be pretty easy to do this. So let's pull them off, get to welding. The hardest part of welding stuff like this, it's just getting it back together, like holding it in place while you try to tack it. Always a bit tricky. Magnets usually work, but the problem is the magnet likes to distort the arc. Oh, I left pulse on. It's like, why is this thing not going? All right, we got her tacked up, cleaned up, weld her out, we got a test fit. I was about to just weld this thing out. I do that sometimes. Let's go test fit this. See if that's a good length.
This compounds are utilized.
All right, I think that looks much better. It's still pretty big, but I think that looks 100 times better. It's a lot tighter to the car now, so I'm just gonna weld it out and do the same to the other side. All right, one down, one to go. Done. Just gotta throw a coat of paint on. I think these have been baking in the sun long enough. All right, I got both mirrors on. I definitely think it looks way, way better like that. They look a lot smaller, a lot more proportional to the car than sticking out like deer antlers. Still look a little out of place, but not bad at all now. That definitely helped a lot. So sweet, wasn't too bad at all. Next order of business, interior lights. That's what we're gonna do next. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I'm excited to do this. So we got these off Amazon. They're just a 12 volt LED light strip. Probably the most time consuming part is gonna be wiring them in because I have a pretty elaborate wiring system on the car. What is this? Oh, there's the normal wires. Okay, cool. So before we start putting them in the car to make our lives easier, I'm gonna go ahead and extend these wires. You know, add just a couple long strands of wire to route to the power source, and then we'll start hanging them and then we'll wire them. Sweet, ready to rip. All right, we got them all in. Let's hook the power probe up and try them out. All right, you ready? Oh, wow, that's sick. That's like the perfect amount of light. I bet that's gonna be super bright at night. Strobe it. Oh yeah, that's awesome. That is gonna be so handy for working on stuff in the car at night and even in the daytime, honestly. That's like plenty of light. All right, enough messing around, let's get this wired up. Okay, so what we gotta do, ignore all that, is pull our PMU harness out of here, the whole connector. So we need to add a pin to the connector. Now a lot of people said this is a rat's nest of wiring, but this is all, everything is connected with a weather pack connector. They're all sub harnesses, and past this area right here, they're all loomed and heat shrunk. The only reason I didn't do it here was to make diagnostics easy. But yeah, anyway, it's set up to where I can just unplug every one of these sub harnesses that goes to different things in different areas of the car, and then just pull the whole connector out in one shot. The harness is all loomed like it is there. See all those harnesses? See how they're all loomed and heat shrunk? And then kind of the business end that's hidden, I just left like this because it's easier to diagnose. You know, whatever, to each his own. But anyway, yeah, we just need to add a single pin in here for a power output to the lights. So this is the cheat sheet I made when I wired all this up, so I know what number is for what thing, what output, what input, because you basically have outputs and inputs. So you have, you know, power out to something, so say power out to your headlights. Then you can also have an input. So if you wanted to do a different switch besides like the keypad that I have, because that just connects with CAN, you know, you could do that. You could use the factory switches and say, you know, when input 013 sees ground, send power to output 08. It's really trick. You can do a lot of stuff. I won't bore you guys too much with the details, but basically we have this. We need to figure out which one of these power outputs is going to be easiest to get to and isn't being used, and then we'll just wire it up. We've got our pin that goes into our big PMU connector, and then I was going to use a weather pack connector like I have on everything else, but I don't have any singles or doubles left. I only have like half of a double. I need to order a bunch of singles and doubles of these, but it's just one wire, so a spade will work just fine. It's not as nice as I would like, but it'll do. All right, we've got our wires cut to length, so we're just gonna loom them real quick and then add our ends. We're pretty much done. Oh, and then route everything and put it back together, basically. This is a really good way to get loom over. It's like a Chinese finger trap. Just push it, pull it. Push it, pull it. Push it, bob it. Pull it, twist it. All loomed up, ready to go. So now we just need to reinstall all of this basically. All right, got everything working. Everything is installed. You can see the nice loomed wire down there. And yeah, just got it set up to this switch. Boom. Fancy. Definitely very handy. Like just working in here right now, when I was diagnosing it, I was using the lights and it was super helpful. Cool, okay, well that's done and done. All we have to do is go in here, basically set up that circuit as an output, and then use this one's simple because it's just a switch. So I can set any of my switches as anything I want. I can move these all around if I want. I can set them to be a color when they're off and a different color when they're on, or no color, and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's just fun. I love messing with this PMU setup. They're pricey, but they're so cool. If you really want to have like the ultimate in wiring setup, totally worth it. So anyway, I'm gonna let this thing warm up and then we're gonna change the oil. It's a bit of a different process with the old dry sump. All right, so I did a little more tinkering with the PMU stuff. So before I had it to where, you know, all the lights were off all the time. So now I've got it to where it's red. They're all red all the time, and then when you press them, the fuel pump and the fans and all of that stuff turn green, and then all the white ones turn orange. There you go. And then these two are green because these two are on right now, and when I press them, it turns them off. So that's the ECU kill. So I can turn the ECU off and leave everything else on, and then this is the fan override because I have it set up to auto turn on through the PMU, through this thing sending signal. The problem is if it's above temp and I have the key on and the ECU on to do something else, the fans will be running. So with this, I can turn the fans off, and no matter what it tries to do to turn them on, they're off. So anyway, just messed with it. This will be a lot easier to see at night. A lot of times when I go to turn stuff on at night, I can't see it at all. So that'll be nice. And look at the lights. Looks so fancy in there. Beautiful for filming. So cool. Okay, done tinkering with that. Warm it up, oil change. Just gonna wait till the oil temps hit 120. Coolant temps at 160. I'm really liking having the lights in here, man. Every time I look in here, I'm like, dang, because it matches the car. We got some red accents. Looks sweet. So yeah, once that gets to 120, we'll shut it off, start draining it. All right, I've never tried to do it this way, but what we're gonna try to do is unbolt the tank, lift it up, and then put a drain pan in the trunk. I've tried to drain it, like I made a hole under the trunk and made this funnel, but it didn't work right. It wasn't like the funnel wasn't big enough, didn't have enough flow. So anyway, we're gonna try this way. I've also used a transfer pump to pump it out of here, but none of those methods work that well. All right, I'm gonna have to move you guys so I can get the tank in here. All right, well, this is what it looks like all taken apart. It was a little bit of a messy process. I need to get a smaller drain pan. I have this massive one for doing trucks, like when I do my diesels, and it just didn't really fit. When I pulled it out, I spilled some, but for the most part, we did okay. Cleaned out the catch can as well. It had some nastiness in it, like, I don't know, looks like condensation or something. The oil was clean. That's kind of like what the oil looked like over there to the right, but that's what came out of the catch can. So I don't know what that is. But anyway, I mean, everything seems to be running good, so I shouldn't say that. Why do I say things like that? So yeah, I'm gonna put it all back together, fill it up with oil, and get her all squared away. Oh, it's also funny, when I made this plate for this setup, everyone was like, oh, those rib nuts aren't gonna hold that. That thing's gonna go flying first time you go drifting. Dude, it's been in here for quite a while. Been fine. All right, I got that all back together. Oh, let me put this cap on. I'm not gonna fill it right this second. Probably the best way I've done it so far. Definitely got everything out of it. I'm sure I'll find a more elegant solution. This is the only place I could put the tank, and it's not a very good place for draining it. So I get these filters. I just order them on Amazon. This is specific to my dry sump setup and my remote mount oil filter setup, but I just buy these Wix filters on Amazon. They're the racing filters. I really like Wix filters. I've seen a lot and read a lot on them. They seem to be one of the best ones, and they're reasonably priced. They're not like way overpriced just because of the name brand. They're just a solid filter for a good price. If I can run OEM, a lot of times I will, but the Wix seem to be really good. But anyway, I just buy a couple at a time so I have them on hand. Another thing everyone freaked out about was when I put this oil filter like this. But my mindset on it was, one, this is the only way it would fit. So regardless, like, it had to go this way. But two, yes, there's some oil in the filter. So when you take the filter off, some comes out. But if this is upside down, there's oil in the lines, and that comes out. So no matter what, you're going to make a little bit of a mess. There's no way around it with a remote mounted housing, or really with any oil filter housing. You just make a mess. That's just the way it is. Lube the O-ring. Alrighty. Let's try not to make too much of a mess here. Yeah, like, that really wasn't that bad. For oil, I usually use Mobil 1, mostly because it's really affordable at Walmart. It's like $22.88 for a 5-quart thing at Walmart, which is, I mean, really, really cheap for good oil. I normally run the 040 European car formula, but I wanted to try out the 1550. I used to use this a lot. It's kind of like Valvoline VR1. It's got like high zinc content and stuff, but you can look Bob's the Oil Guy or something like that. There's a forum, and he like tests like all different brands of oils. And I know the 040 European car formula was like number 4 on the list, and it's like 23 bucks for 5 quarts. So anyway, like I said, we're gonna try this one out. I haven't ran this in a while. I used to run this. Yeah, okay. Everything's good. All right, oil pressure is really stable. We got it up to temp. Everything seems to be good. I meant to do this while it was on the lift and we were messing with everything suspension wise. I didn't cut this one good enough, so I'm gonna need to come in here and cut that edge and radius it a bit, because you can see it's already almost touching the tire, so we don't stand a chance if we leave that there. So we need to get this thing back on the lift and then cut that, and then we can start loading up for the event. All right, I think we're good. Let's put it back together. Come on. There we go. All right, cool. It's all back together. Let's drop it down and see what kind of clearance we've got. All right, well, that almost looks better than the other side, because the only thing we're really worried about is when the wheel travels up. So worst case, we will clearance the other side a little more, get it dialed in, but we'll see how this is. I'll bring the grinder with me to the event, just in case we need to do some clearancing on this side. But like I said, I mean, I have no idea if these are gonna work even remotely close to okay. Dang, I should have radiused that other side. That's why it looks goofy, because it's like straight up. I'll have to add a little curvature into it. But yeah, anyway, no idea if this is actually gonna work. It might rub horribly and there's not a chance of making him fit without extensive mods, or it might work fine as it is. So we're gonna figure out tomorrow. So for now, we're done with prep. Need to load up, load the truck up, hook the trailer up, get the car on the trailer. Be ready to go in the morning. All right, got the tires all loaded up. I'm bringing a lot because it's a private day. So I figured, you know, normally events we have short sessions and I can't really change tires midway or I miss most of the session. So I never run scrubs like half dead tires because they won't last a whole session. So anyway, I have a bunch of those that I'm gonna try to burn off because, you know, it's just kind of like open grid, so it makes it a little easier. And then I've got a bunch of new ones in case everything's getting rowdy. I got one pair of good new sticky boys in case I'm trying to keep up with some fast guys. And yeah, we ready. I feel like I'm missing something. Like there's something that goes here that I'm forgetting. Car loaded up before the sun goes down because it's getting there, but man, is it nice out. Dude, I mean, can you see it? I feel like you can see in footage how it's nice. You know what I mean? You can tell that it's a nice day based on like the color of the sky and the hue, and it's nice. I'll just tell you that. It is a very nice day. We're about to get back to it's a beautiful day in Florida weather, so sorry for that, but you're gonna hear me say it a lot. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. Let's go get this thing loaded up. All right, the car is all loaded up just in time. It's about to get dark. I like loading up at this time before events because I don't like to have to rush in the morning, and then two, I don't have to get sweaty before the event. I get sweaty at the event anyway, but I don't know, it's nice to wake up fresh for the drive there. So anyway, yeah, it's all loaded up. 17s look better with it up this high for some reason. But yeah, all loaded up, strapped down. We got everything we need besides stuff that can't get wet, which we'll put in the morning. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Tomorrow we will be drifting, and it should be a really fun day. It's gonna be a private day, like I said, with a lot of people, a lot of good friends, a lot of good tandem drivers. Like, it should be really fun, and we're gonna find out whether or not 17s are gonna work. So I hope to see you guys then. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.